$1.87. That's 10 cents better than the expectation here. For their revenue number coming in at 81.62. The expectation was for somewhere around 79 billion, so a beat there as well. Their gross margin, which is very important here, coming in at 75% here for the first quarter. Data center revenue coming in at $75.2 billion. Estimates were looking for 73.48, so better than expected there as well. As we're looking ahead to this current quarter, they're expecting second quarter revenue between 89.18 and 92.82 billion. The street was looking for 87.36, so we are above that range. They see their gross margins in this current quarter between 74.5% and 75.5%, so right about what we're seeing for this fiscal first quarter. That's beating the consensus here. The second quarter outlook is above the expectation there. And we've got a beat on the metrics that have come across. They also are reporting an $80 billion added share buyback and boosting their quarterly dividend to 25 cents a share in this report. Now, as we're looking at the reaction, we are down about 2% right now, George. Walk us through your initial takeaways just as we're getting these first bits of numbers here.
Yeah, sorry, my audio dropped off for a second there, so I didn't catch a lot of the aspects of the call. But look, so far, this is, I think what's going to be happening here is networking is another component of what's happening with data center sales, because you have to consider the ecosystem for NVIDIA, which is now developing into a full AI stack from GPUs to CPUs, as well as networking and switching. Ethernet, and so again, software and cybersecurity. So I think that's going to be a critical component to the response. So far, obviously, to the downside, but what's going on with networking relative to total sales and data center, I think is going to be a key ingredient.
And Sam, we've had a lot of conversations about how important these numbers were going to be and how much the numbers mattered versus the guidance versus the expected numbers versus the increase in the numbers and it being better than what we've gotten from them historically. Not seeing an aggressive move to the downside, but a move to the downside while we're digesting, getting bigger now. We're down to 3%. What's standing out for you right now in the conversations we've had so many about this name as they're coming, as what the primary questions might be?
Well, with NVIDIA, it's often about not just the beat and raise, but the magnitude of the beat and raise. And that is obviously where you see the reaction. But a lot of analysts going into this had said it's not really about the numbers because, 75% gross margin, 75% data center revenue. That all looks pretty good. We were expecting great numbers out of the company, but it really is about the narrative here and obviously around the AI supercycle. That was really going to be seen as the next big test for Jensen. Particularly given some of the risks just before we got these numbers that George was kind of highlighting. We know of the capacity constraints as well. What will they say about that? We want to know if there's any sort of CapEx caps when this all sort of comes to an end, or whether we're going to see any of these H200s going to China, whether Jensen does have anything new to say about that, given he's just coming back from Beijing. Some of the competition as well. Don't forget, we're talking so much more about